Francesco Bagnaia, a two-time world champion, was sidelined due to a collision with Enea Bastianini, triggering sharp scrutiny from his teammate, Marc Marquez. The Ducati Lenovo star not only analyzed Bagnaia's performance decline but also called on Ducati to assist the reigning champion in bouncing back. This is highly intriguing. Let's discuss it thoroughly. The Le Mans 2025 race was full of chaos. Rain before the start forced tough decisions regarding tires. The start was cancelled, and 13 riders, including Marquez, opted for slick tires despite receiving a double long lap penalty. In the early laps, Bagnaia, starting from 6th, fell victim to Bastianini's aggression. An attempt to overtake on the curb ended in a collision, causing Bagnaia and Joan Mir to crash. Bagnaia failed to finish, losing points in both the sprint race and Grand Prix, trailing Marquez by 31 points in the standings. Bagnaia, Ducati's ace, is in a slump. His failure at Le Mans added pressure after a poor start to the season. Marquez, who has dominated with 3 Grand Prix wins and 6 consecutive sprint race victories, spoke out. In an interview with MotoGP.com, he sharply analyzed Bagnaia's performance, praising his potential but highlighting strategic errors. Pecco was very fast up to qualifying. His pace was close to mine, but the sprint race incident was a one-time mistake, said Marquez. He touched on technical differences. Marquez developed the new GP25 chassis, while Bagnaia stuck with the old one for stability. With 8 world titles worth of experience, Marquez sees Bagnaia's setbacks not as issues of speed, but of adaptation. The races in 2025 are faster. The bikes keep evolving and Pecco needs to adjust, he stated. Bagnaia often complains about the front end of the GP25, especially in sprint races with a small fuel tank. In contrast, Marquez appears comfortable with the new bike, using his racing instinct to dominate. The chassis difference became a focal point. Marquez advocated for the new chassis development, believing it will be an advantage in the future. This new chassis is a step forward. Pecco chose the old one for comfort, but we have different strategies, he explained. While praising Bagnaia's consistency, often on the podium, Marquez emphasized the need for quick adaptation to compete at the top. This analysis showcases Marquez's intelligence, focusing not only on personal victories but also on team dynamics. Marquez not only criticized Bagnaia, but also admonished Ducati. In an interview with Spanish media, he urged the team to unite for Bagnaia's sake. Ducati must help Pecco return to his best form. He's a great asset, and his potential must not be wasted, he insisted. Ducati boss Gigi Dall'Igna supported Marquez's statement, praising his strategy at Le Mans and promising to focus on Bagnaia's recovery. This reprimand highlights internal tensions. Marquez's arrival at the factory Ducati team in 2025, replacing Bastianini, has changed the dynamics. Bagnaia, a 2-time world champion, feels threatened. He once remarked that Marquez's presence could be either very good or disastrous. Marquez, with his aggressive style and experience, brings a new challenge. He aims to maintain team harmony, acknowledging Bagnaia as a leader. Pecco sets the direction. He's already delivered 2 titles for Ducati, he said. The Bagnaia-Bastianini collision was the main trigger. Bastianini, riding for Tech 3 KTM in 2025, was deemed too aggressive. Marquez, while not openly blaming him, called Bastianini's maneuver optimistic. According to Marquez, Ducati's telemetry is sufficient to explain the incident. What matters now is to move on and help Pecco, he said, diffusing the conflict. Marc Marquez didn't just focus on Bagnaia's setbacks, but also delivered sharp criticism of Enea Bastianini for the incident at Le Mans. In a post-race interview, Marquez called Bastianini's maneuver too aggressive and unnecessary, especially in the early laps under slippery track conditions. He highlighted that Bastianini's attempt to overtake on the curb, resulting in a collision with Bagnaia, showed a lack of self-control. We all know Le Mans is a challenging track in the opening lap, especially with a long lap penalty. Enea should have been more patient, especially as Pecco was struggling with confidence in his bike, said Marquez. Marquez's criticism became sharper when he pointed out recurring patterns in Bastianini's racing style. While acknowledging Bastianini's speed and talent, Marquez questioned his decision-making in crucial moments. Enea has great potential, but in situations like this, you have to think for the team, not just personal position, he emphasized. He also referenced telemetry data that, according to him, clearly showed Bastianini's mistake, although he chose not to escalate the conflict. This critique reflects Marquez's concern over Bastianini's impulsive actions. This incident exacerbated Bagnaia's issues. He struggles with confidence in the GP25, especially the front end. Marquez, more adaptable, capitalized on the situation to widen his lead. However, he remained professional, avoiding escalating tensions with Bastianini and focusing on team solutions. However, his instinctive style contrasts with Bagnaia's methodical approach, relying on data and teamwork. At Le Mans, Marquez excelled with the new chassis, while Bagnaia was hindered by conservative choices. Del Igna referred to the Marquez-Bagnaia duo as Ducati's best team in history, with 11 world titles between them. However, managing two big egos is a challenge. The decision to recruit Marquez replacing Bastianini has drawn criticism. Bagnaia once hinted that Marquez could disrupt him. Now, with Marquez leading the standings, Ducati must balance support without sidelining Bagnaia. Bagnaia's failure at Le Mans widened the gap with Marquez, who leads by 31 points. Alex Marquez is in second place, with Bagnaia third. The next race at Circuit of the Americas, a favorite track for Marquez, could worsen the situation. Bagnaia hopes the European races will be a turning point, but the pressure is mounting. Marquez remains vigilant. Pecco is only 20 points behind Alex. That's not a big gap, he said, acknowledging Bagnaia's threat. However, Marquez's dominance poses risks. Ducati's focus could shift to him, leaving Bagnaia behind. Marquez aims to avoid this, emphasizing teamwork to ensure both remain competitive. Le Mans 2025 is evidence that MotoGP remains full of drama. The Marquez-Bagnaia rivalry, coupled with Bastianini's incident, creates emotional narrative. Marquez, with charisma and sharp analysis, becomes a magnet for spectators. On the other hand, Bagnaia must rise to prove his status. Ducati faces a major test, maintaining harmony while retaining dominance. MotoGP fans, the drama of Le Mans has ignited the 2025 season. What are your thoughts on Marquez's analysis and his admonitions to Ducati? Will Bagnaia bounce back, or will Marquez continue to dominate? Write your predictions in the comments section. Who's your dream world champion?
Welcome to GP Talks. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates.